Today we begin with the chapter Chemical Reactions and Equation. This is the module 1A. First is, what is chemical reaction? Chemical reaction is nothing but a chemical change. Now, how do we identify that chemical change has occurred? That is due to the change in state, change in color, change in evolution of gas, and change in temperature. For example, how do we change the state? For example, when we treat with hydrogen, burn the hydrogen gas in the presence of oxygen, both are in the gaseous state, but it forms the liquid water. Similarly, the change in color. The color is what? For example, child, we are adding lead nitrate, that is a colorless solution, and potassium iodide, then it forms a yellow colored lead iodide. So we can say a chemical reaction has occurred because of the formation of this yellow colored lead iodide. For example, child, if we take zinc granules and add drop by drop sulfuric acid, then hydrogen gas is produced. So when hydrogen gas is produced, there is an evolution of gas and it shows that a chemical change has occurred. Second is change in temperature. Whenever there is an evolution of gas, along with that, in this reaction, zinc chloride is formed. But the vessel is heated up. So it shows that there is a change in temperature. So is any one of these changes we see during the reaction or during any change surrounding us, they are known as what? Chemical reaction has occurred. Now this is the first topic. Now the second topic is chemical reaction or a chemical change, how to present in a shorter form. Now chemical reaction, that is known as what? Chemical equation. Chemical equation is what? Is the short representation of a chemical reaction. For example, if I burn magnesium ribbon is burned to form magnesium oxide. So this is a chemical change when we write a short form. Now in this, first we should know the parts of the chemical equation. There are two parts. One is reactants and one is products. The magnesium burning in the presence of oxygen this is the two substances which is being used, so it is known as what? Reactant. The product is the substance formed, that is known as magnesium oxide. But how to write an equation now? Magnesium is written as Mg and oxygen as O2. Because it is a gas, it is represented. I will deal with this later on, and it forms magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide, you can make a formula Mg minus 2, it gets cancelled and it forms magnesium oxide. So what I have done, I have written a short representation or a symbolic representation of a chemical change. Now, to write a chemical reaction equation, to write chemical equation, we need to know the following. Number one, formula of the acids. Hydrochloric acid, that is HCl. Sulfuric acid H2SO4, nitric acid, HNO3. The molecules of the gases, the molecular representation of the gases like hydrogen gas, H2, nitrogen gas, N2, oxygen gas, that is O2. Third, you should know all metals in an uncombined state should be represented in their symbols. For example, if you want to write iron, that means you will just write, for example, iron, if it is given in the chemical equation, we will be writing Fe. If silver, then we write Ag. This is the way you go. The last, this 1, 2, 3, you should remember. That is the formula of the acids, commonly used formula. Hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen gas, that is O2. In addition to that also, you can form chlorine gas, Cl2, bromine water, Br2. All metals in the uncombined state should be represented in their symbols, like iron is Fe, silver is Ag. Now, the last important thing, you should know how to write the formula units that you have studied using table 3.6. The table 3.6 gives you the formula of all the iron, that is the NCERT book, class 9. Now, how to make the formula units? Number 1, suppose I have to write magnesium oxide. The formula will be written as Mg plus 2, oxygen minus 2. When the valencies are same, they will get cancelled and it will form MgO. For example, you write magnesium hydrogen carbonate. When you write magnesium hydrogen carbonate, Mg is plus 2, HCO3 is the hydrogen carbonate which has a valency 1. Now, you have to remember one thing in this case. Whenever a polyatomic ion is multiplied more than 1, then it has to be multiplied because you have to use a bracket in it. This is the only. Please again listen to this formula. Mg, magnesium is plus 2, HCO3 is minus 1. This is a polyatomic ion. So, if it is multiplied more than 1, then we should use a bracket. So, finally, you should remember, whenever you are writing a formula unit or a chemical formula, using valencies, you are creating a formula, only the polyatomic ion which is multiplied more than 1 has to be used within the brackets. That means they have to be placed within the bracket, and on the right side of it you have to place that number. Let us take one more example. Ammonium sulfate. Now, ammonium sulfate, how to write the formula? NH4 plus 1, SO4 minus 2. Now, both are polyatomic ion and ammonium has to be multiplied with 2. So, I am using a bracket. Sulfate is also polyatomic ion. Since it is multiplied with 1, you don't require a bracket. Now, I sum up again. Number 1, you should know the name of the acids. Number 2, you should know the molecular representation of the gases, different gases, while writing the equation. Third is all metals to be represented in symbols. And last but not the least, you should know completely the table 3.6, and the way you have learned in class 9, the formula making. Again I have revised it for you with this 3 example. You can create any formula, but that table is not having some of the valences like barium, Ba2 positive, you have to remember this, lead, Pb2 positive. You also have one more, zinc, I think so, it is not there, so again you have to remember this, Zn2 plus. So child, today you know what are the basic thing required to write a chemical equation. So we'll continue the writing of chemical equation and balancing in the module 1B. Thank you.